And we're live from the Mile High, the 303. It's me, the High Priestess Phoenix. We're like, I don't even know how to explain myself. I was like, I need to explain myself real quick. Let me clear my throat here. What's up, everyone? Anybody new? All the rest of you? Yeah, yous. What's up, everyone? I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer. I heal people. How? Because I teach you. I'm your spiritual teacher. What do I teach you? How to walk through the valleys of the shadows of death. So-called the life experience from a soul's perspective. Something like that. I am a seer, meaning I see what the Holy Spirit is trying to... What? It's hey, it's not even on. There you go. Oh, you want it up? Okay, sorry. Hey, there's something going on here. Anyways, going back to it, I'm a seer. I see what the world is, what the universe is trying to say to us. That makes me, I guess, a psychic. I speak to dead people. That makes me a medium. A lot of my practices are those of a shaman, or a sage, or a mystic. All of that makes me a witch, and ultimately, I am the messenger of God. Here with another episode of What the Fuck? What the fuck, Chuck? Well, what had happened was, okay, here's what had happened. I did a video. In my videos, oh no, the kids tell me Saturday night, they're like, Mom, there's this cool ass amphitheater down there. You should do your readings down there. And I get down there and there's this lady and she's like, oh, you can do yoga? I was like, no, I'm going to do way more than yoga. I was like, are you guys building a fire? She's like, yeah. So they're having like this whole cookout in this little amphitheater. And I decided to do a whole reading there. And I'm going to do, a spiritual read, and it becomes very spiritual for me. What happens? Same thing that always happens, but it hasn't happened in a long, well, not really. That's not true at all. But typically, for me, this is a video, audio documentary of my life for me to learn from and from others to experience and learn from. So as much as you learn from it, I learn from it too, just listening to myself talk. Whether it be me, myself, and I, or whether it be the conscious's perspective, or it be, whatever I'm channeling. It's always a fucking shindig. So this one really burst out. What happens? I burst out in my flesh, and I start, just really going at it. So the first card that comes out is the Eight of Swords. And I'm all, this bitch. And I'm, trying to hold it together, but I know what this card means. It means that I'm stuck, that I'm in a self-imposed prison. And as soon as I start reading the card, I start getting even more upset because I start taking on the fact that I did this. You did this. You put yourself in here believing some bullshit. So then I'm getting enraged with, God in the situation. I'm enraged that I allowed God to do such things with my life again. And I've been fighting him since I had got there. I was really upset with God about taking me on this fucking journey. I didn't, only today when I got back from the journey, I'm like, what the fuck, God? Seriously. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm gonna upload that video. You're gonna have to catch that video right after you catch this video. And I really start getting into it, and I'm like, this shit has got me all fucked up, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm so far away from home, and I can't find my way, and blah, 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 blah. And then I pull the last card is the World card, talking about it's over. And as I reflect, as I'm saying it, I'm pouring out in my flesh, but I'm seeing myself pour out my feelings about what I've been through. I'm feeling hopeless, I'm feeling helpless, and I'm feeling upset, and I'm feeling broken about this whole little fucking journey that he takes me on, right? But the journey hasn't even ended. So I have this whole fucking sit down with him, and I'm upset. And then after that, I decided I'm not going to load this because I realized it was loaded with stuff that I needed to reflect on me. It was absolutely not helpful for anybody. Maybe. I haven't seen it since I loaded it. I just remember watching myself, third person, if you will, higher self, watching my conscious just bitch about the cards and where I was at in that moment in time and space. So I let it all out, blew all this fire out, and I was like, okay, that was for me, right? And I posted that was just for me. And then I sit at my campsite and I'm like, I realized that there's nothing keeping me here at this campsite. It's great, and I've enjoyed it, but it's time to go. What have I learned? Because that's where I keep sitting down. As he sits me down after all this crazy shit he'll put me through. And that's another thing I noticed. He runs me through some serious fucking, oh my God, kind of ringer shit. And then he sets me down in the ground until he can clear me out. And that's like, you know, cool. And that's exactly why I'm home. It's like, I need to clear out. This is, what the fuck did you do? Dude, it felt like a lifetime. I had been gone a lifetime. I've only been gone, dude, the fucking... The colors on the trees are falling and shit. Hey, let me tell you though, there's snow up on those mountains, dude. I didn't drive through it. I drove all the way around it. But there is serious snow up in those mountains. It's on its way. But anyways, I'm sitting there and I'm reflecting and I'm feeling like I can't come home because I've missed a window or something. I don't know. I'm just feeling very pessimistic in the whole video. But I catch it in the last card that it's like, okay, the journey has ended. And now it's time to go back with what you've learned. Because that's all I've learned is I need to go back home. How am I going to get back home? I can't even find my way back home from where I am. Not realizing that it's just Vegas. I do Vegas without the weather. It's 11 hours. It's just here to there. You know what I mean? And I've just been all over the place and just really been through so much shit. Then I look back at it. I was like, why did you do that? Well, I did a lot of, serious ceremonial cleanings down in Yuma, and the same at Lake Mead that night. I did all kinds of them the whole time I was up on that mountain. I was doing all kinds of cleanses up on that mountain since the minute I got there, and then down at the lake. So I was doing all kinds of them, and it was blowing because I told you the wind was absurd. I don't know why I never catch on to that. As soon as I do those, then here comes all this fucked up weather. Anyways, here it comes. Going back to it, so I'm like, what the fuck? Why did we do that? Well, one, they needed me to go to the light, and I promised. He took me to the darkest places. Seriously, the darkest places. What happened? Oh my God, I don't even have enough breath to tell you what happened in the last 24, 48 hours. It was a fucking crime scene of blessings and lessons and unbelievable bullshit. Like, I was so tired of your bullshit before I got on the road, and you put me through so much more bullshit. Fucking God. So anyways, I'm sitting there after the reading, and I'm like, all right, I've got to go home. Quit playing around. You'll be okay. What have you learned? What have you learned? What have you learned? How can you do this better? You know how to be, you know what I mean? And that's it. I keep leaving home because I don't know how to make it out here. I start panicking and run away from home. And then I learn how to make it just fine without anything. Well, I have to learn how to have that mentality here at home, right, is what I learned. So in the video, I'm talking about if I go back, I'm going to be stuck in my car. I'm going to be homeless in the car in the winter and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, first off, bitch, even if it snows tonight, the sun will come out tomorrow and you won't even know it snowed because it's not January. Quit fucking around. We'll be slipping, sliding in the fucking rest of the fucking summer, right? The rest of the winter. You have to live here to know how that works. Anyway, so I talked myself off that ledge, and then I was like, but what about the snow? I can't go back the way I came, and I'll explain that, dude, in a different video about this, all I learned about all these travel places I went. I knew I couldn't do that, so the Holy Spirit was like, go up and around. Go up to Salt Lake and go through Wyoming, which I have not done since, I don't know, since before these kids were born, to be honest, like years and years, like 20 years ago. So I went that way, and that was a whole cool experience, and I recommend it. If you're going to go that way, you should just waste the hours and go the other way. It's such a... Dude, opposed to driving through our mountains with all the rigid drivers and the roads conditions and the weather, you should just drive around. I'm just telling you. But again, if it's snowing up there, then you're twice as fucked because of the wind. But going on to it, I get past all of the barriers, and it's like, okay, it's time to go. And I'm sitting there at my campsite, and I'm like, I don't have $1 to my name at this point. I have gift cards that I've been using to buy cigarettes and shit that I need because they gave me gift cards to Walmart. Did you know you can buy cigarettes at Walmart? You just can't buy alcohol. So I'm doing okay, and I have, I'm doing all right, and we've been bumming gas, but it's like, all right, it's time to go. And so I'm like, I'm going to just bum gas, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at my front tire. Now, I remind you that my back tire blew when I first got there, and I'm looking at my front tire, and I can literally see the wires. And I'm hearing Kanye through the wire. I'm like, oh, fuck. So my Holy Spirit tells me, first thing tomorrow, pack everything up. First thing tomorrow, you're going to go get that tire checked, and you're going to figure out whatever it takes to put a new tire on there. And I was like, all right, cool. So the first thing in the morning I go to do this, right? So I know I'm leaving, and I know that we're going to be in the car, and I need to make the car less, you know what I mean, more controllable and less weight. So, you know what I mean, more accessible than what it was with all our camping shit. So I decide that I have to ditch all my camping shit. I have to give up the camping life if I'm going to go for, you know what I mean, go for gold. It's like you have to close the door in faith. You have to leave one behind to open another. So I had to leave all my camping shit. What did I make it out with? The same shit I went in with. I came out with my stove, my grill, and my cooking stuff, because I can use that anywhere. Like, throughout the day, I can go to any of these, you know, fucking little parks and shit. And my tent. That's it. Everything else, we got rid of everything else. Everything else. The people had bought us, you know, new mattresses. We had bought a bathtub. We had bought all kinds of shit. A new cooler. Everything. Everything had to go. Everything had to go. We had to get rid of everything so that we could be more accessible. So I leave it all behind, and I go and tell one of the campers that we can't leave, and one of them gives me $20. They're like, here's for gas money. So then I go to give all of this other stuff to another camper that actually, like, lives there full time. And he's like, cool. And I tell him the story, and he gives me $20. So now, all of a sudden, just because I'm leaving, I got $40. Cool. Okay. And then I'm like, well, we're going to be taking a ride. So let me go stop at one of these, get me a $5 pre-roll. So I get one of those, and then we go to the tire shop. I get to the tire shop, and the guy's like, the cheapest tire I can give you is $45. Fuck. So I stand, it's a ghetto-ass tire shop, dude. They put me straight in the ghetto. But I knew I needed a Mexican tire shop, dude, so it was a straight-ass ghetto-ass tire shop. So I'm going over, and there's a fucking liquor store, and there's a smoke shop. So I stand right in front of the lick so I could bum dollars, dude, because, yeah, somebody's going to have $1 left over from the lick, and there's always traffic at the lick. So I stand there, and I bum money for it. So here I got my $45 for my tire, and I go to pull it up in the bay. He's like, oh, girl, you cannot take these tires to Colorado. I said, what? I said, you can't. You need all new tires. He's like, you can't. And I just start to cry. I'm like, are you serious? He said, dude, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And he starts to show me why. He shows me the cracks and the different things about him, how they're stretched and all this shit. And I'm like crying. Okay, well, here's another thing, though. Here's a little story I got to tell. This is Sunday, and this is like the only tire shop that's open, because mainstreams don't usually be open on Sunday. So they got hella traffic coming in, hella other freaking Chicanos. So I start hitting up everyone, and by this time I'm crying. And so I'm hitting up everyone. Hey, can you guys please help me? I've got to get some tires. I got to get home. We're stranded travelers. I've got my whole family. Please, 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 please. One guy, he goes and talks to the manager. The manager's like, dude, it's legit. She cannot go. So he gives me $20. He gives it to me in front of this other guy that asked me. He's like, it's for real? He's like, it's for real. She needs him. So then he gives me $20. Meanwhile, I'm asking this other dude. He gives me $20. This chick rolls up. She gives me $20. So now I have all the money for the tires. Real story. True story. I've got all the money for the tires. They're like, all right, we got you. And I'm crying, and I'm thanking everyone. I would just want to thank everyone for, you know, helping me get the fuck out of here. So then I pull it up in the bay, and they say, all right, we're just going to change the first front too. And I'm looking at him like, dude, I spent like 2.5 hours here, and I just went through hell. And you don't want, and really? But you just broke my heart and said that I really needed 2 tires. I needed 4 tires. So he gives me the 2 front tires. Okay? Now, we had gotten the last one from this guy, and it was all off, but whatever. And we head out. All right. So I went in there with $35, and I came out with 2 front tires and $60. True story. Fucking true story. All right. So then I take my ride, and it's one hell of a fucking ride, let me tell you. And I can't make it past, I get past the 50 or the 70 corridor, and there's some town past it called Meadow, and I'm exhausted. My eyes are burning. I'm drowsy. It's only like 9, but I've cried, and I've been through all kinds of shit. I packed up shit. I'm tired. So I pull up in a Mavericks, and I crawl into the back seat. We have it set up. It's a full bed back there. And I curl up next to my son, and my daughter jumps in the front seat, and she's all goofing off on the internet for who knows how long. And I fucking fall asleep till like, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we get up and we start traveling. So then, no shit, it was a great ride. And then we're like almost here, dude. We're like in some crazy outskirts of Fort Collins. We're coming from Wyoming into Fort Collins. And my tire blows, dude. The back one blows. The same one those guys gave me is the one that blows. Not the fucking snow tire from 2 years ago with the studs on it. Not that guy. No, that guy's still holding strong, bro. No, the other one that he gave me. I'm like, oh, fuck. But we're now in daylight. We're next to some pretty lake. We're around money. I'm like, this is okay. This is okay. And it was okay. So I'm like, you done did this in the dark. Pull it out. And I've already packed it up. I just packed it up yesterday and it's beautifully packed up so I can pull this shit out gracefully. And I pull out my trunk and I'm getting the tire out and this guy pulls up behind me. It's an elderly man. He's got his hair in a ponytail and he's real nice. And he's like, you got a tire? And I was like, I got it all. It's like, all right, let's get to it. And he gets the jack and he gets it on there and he does all this. And I was like, man, do you know where there's a tire shop? And I tell him my whole story. And I'm like, oh, I hope I can get one for cheap. So he's like, hold on. And he comes back and he gives me $100 bill. No shit. So then I go to the tire shop and I get a tire for $35. And I walk away with $75. I've made it here, dude, with more money than I had just sitting over there, right? So I get here and now it's like, all right, make some decisions. Are you going to just go straight into a hotel or what are you going to do? No, dude, I know better than this, dude, because if I do that, that's only going to cover today and I got to worry about, you know, further along the line. And that's what God was trying to show me, is how to do it so that I only have to do it here and how to do it better. And that was all of that practice, you know what I mean? Learning how to be self-sufficient. And that's way back in the beginning of the book, you guys. That is like the first level. That's Gaia. That's the first level of the dark night of the soul. I swear to you, is going back to the land and learning how to be self-sufficient and not becoming hopeless and, you know what I mean, leaning on people, but learning how to use your survival skills, knowing what works and not working out of desperation, waiting on the spirit. And that's where I was. How am I supposed to let you take care of me and me not take care of me and be a priestess? And I have, it's in the video. I'm going to upload it. Actually, I'll leave the suspense and I'll upload it tomorrow because I'll be at work tomorrow. So I didn't really understand how to do it. And you'll hear it all in the video. But then it was like, no, you can change this situation right now. Change your attitude, change your reality. So I came back, we got back here. As soon as we got into town, I wanted to go to the recreation center and go swimming, go sit in the hot tub and take showers. I went to the one where I always love to go. Bobby knows where. The one in Thornton. But they didn't have open swim. So we ended up going to the one in Commerce City. And we took showers, got all cleaned up. We went over to... Yeah, sure. We went over to... Stop touching it. Thank you. We went over to Red Rocks and saw the rocks. We got some dinner. Now we're chilling in our little spot. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up early and hit up my temp agency. I have a job already. I signed up for a job before I left. I was like, all right, you need work when you get there. I knew I could do the temp agency, but I also knew it wouldn't keep me afloat for very long, and that's where I kept drowning. It's because you can't do the temp agency on Saturday and Sunday. So even though I can make enough each day, it's not going to, unless it's cutting it super tight, I wasn't going to be able to pull off a Saturday and Sunday. So that would be a problem every fucking Saturday and Sunday. So before I left, I knew some of the quickest jobs you could get, and I signed up for Amazon, and I got a shift that'll start in 2 weeks. And that's just part-time in the evenings from 7 till 11:30. And so I got long-term income, short-term income, short-term dwelling arrangements, and long-term dwelling arrangements. I told the kids we're going to thug this out. And really, we don't really hang out in the car, but the car is designed now, and it always was, that it's convenient to do so. We have, they have room in the back. There's room in the front for the dog, room for me. There's, and we can switch up the locations. We have our internet and our phone. We're always outside. I'm usually outside. It's just cold right now. It's too cold. It's dark. but we're outside most of the time, so we can thug this out. And basically what I'm going to do is go sign up for work in the morning, go to whatever job site, make sure there's, you know, go early and find a place where next to the job site where I can park the kids, where they're not on the job site but near a restroom, and the dogs are fine. And then just, you know what I mean, these job sites are not fully regulated where somebody's watching you. They just tell you to go do something and then check in with them and sign a paper when you're done. So we're gonna thug that out until I can put together enough for a weekly hotel, and that way I can maintain it, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And then I'll replace, once I can replace the day labor, I'll replace that with a day job that will pay to get me back in a lift car, and then I'll just go back to nights and work that out. But for a couple days we gotta thug this shit out, probably till the weekend. It felt great to be home though, just like in the blink of an eye. It wasn't though. It was one hell of an adventure. And I felt like, that's where I was like, dude, you took me so far away from home, and it's been so long, and I'm on the other, you would have thought I left the country, to be honest. Like, it was impossible to find my way home. When you hear this video, that's how I felt when I did that video. Oh, that lighter doesn't work. We've gone through every one of them. Anyway, so I wanted to do an update. I'm back. Guess who's back? And it'll make more sense when you see the other video. And we will get to teachings as soon as I am reestablished, which should be by this weekend. I'll have an altar up, and all praises to God. But I'm feeling great. The kids are great. They got their 7-Eleven pizza. The dog's happy. I'm happy. The world is happy. And, you know, and the beat goes on. And ultimately, it's kind of funny. It's like my life is completely chaotic and and that's what I said too. It's like it's never ending, always transformative. But it's always for my highest good. And I can show you, you'll see in that video that I wasn't feeling that way about it. I was very upset about the never-ending transformative fucking ways about my life. But I did need to go to those places. I was called to those places to do those rituals, to reawaken years and years of memories, to experience, you know, a certain level of darkness that I hadn't actually experienced just yet in the soul. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth, is I'm going to the dirty dirties, dealing with, you know what I mean, dark people and stuff, trying to bring the light. And it's hard out here. But it feels good to be home, and I just wanted to do an update. That's what happened. What had happened was, so enjoy this one, munch on this one. I'll catch you make sure to catch tomorrow's video of actually what happened before this one. And then I'll let you know what happens after this one. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Laters.